Fishing trips anywhere, anytime. FishingBooker.com.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. It's another week of dropping the tailgate. This is your boy East Coast Trev, and I'm joined with the Madman himself. What's up, Madman?
What up?
What up, dude? Are these summer days over yet, or what?
It's been a little chilly in the morning. It's been nice.
Yeah, I think that's here to change, my friend.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. Have you gotten out in the woods yet and dropped some cams, or?
No.
No, me neither, dude. I can't get myself to do it.
I just haven't had time. It's not that I don't want to or not motivated to. I've just been busy as shit. I caddied all last weekend for my buddy in a golf tournament.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So that was shot. And the weekend before we were away, it's just I haven't really found the time.
Yeah, we got this weekend, and then next weekend we're at Huntstock.
What's that, 2 weekends from now?
2 weekends, so not this weekend, but not next weekend, but the weekend after. So, I mean, we'll be up there before we know it. So, we only got a little bit of time. But, you know what?
I'll get some out this weekend.
Huh?
I'll get some out this weekend.
Will you?
For sure.
Yeah. I think if I don't get them out this weekend, I'll definitely get some out this week. At least a couple of them, you know. I guess it makes you feel better. But really, I mean, like we said before, like, what do we have to do? Watch them grow? We kind of know where they are, right? I mean, unless there's new prospects that.
Yeah. It's funny, I'm thinking about it as you're saying this. I remember distinctively last year, we were at Huntstock. I think it was the Sunday coming home, and I had been watching a pretty good buck on camera periodically for a couple months. And then I got some random kid walking by my camera with like one climbing stick in his hand, and I'm like, shit. He's either putting the camera in or he's checking a non-cell cam.
Well, actually, funny enough, 2 years before that was the ET year. You were watching ET the whole entire time that you were there, and then you ended up killing that deer that season.
Did he break it? No. Yeah, I remember that, though. Yeah, definitely remember watching him at Huntstock.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. You know, you almost have to get him in before Huntstock. You know why? You have to get at least a camera or two, because somebody's going to ask you like, oh, you watching any deer? So you got to like show them, right? Like,
no, you don't. Just like I told Cliff on the episode today, I'm like, nah, I don't have anything. I got no deer. I don't, no. All my places suck. Don't go anywhere near where I hunt. There's no deer there.
It's so true.
I got nothing on camera.
No, it's crazy how fast it happens though. Like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, like turkey season came, went, gone. Now we're here, there. It's just like it's never ending. It's like everything turns into everything. It's just one big mend and blend.
Yeah. It has been a while. Shit, I can't remember how many years it's been, but like, I mean, I've been pretty obsessive over the fall, right? Like, there's been times where it was like 12 months out of the year, chasing deer, scouting this, cameras this, road scouting that, doing that. And it's like this year, honestly, like I'm kind of making excuses, but it's kind of like on purpose. Like I'm kind of like toning it back because it's kind of a little refreshing going into it because like I said before, it's not really going to change anything. Like the season's going to come and I'm going to hunt the way I hunt and I'm going to pick where I hunt. based on my gut and based on the conditions and based on where I think the deer are and the wind and all that stuff. So like, I don't know, in a weird way, I'm kind of like bringing out the kid in me where I'm just kind of gonna go with the flow. I mean, I will definitely get cameras in, don't get me wrong, but I feel a lot fresher going into it, not feeling like I have been just obsessing over it since the last one closed.
I've had a couple of those years in the past where like I was like, oh, I'm not gonna run no cameras, or you know what I'm saying? To like, what? What's that?
That's every year for you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
because there's some years that I'm crazy about it, like for like 12 cell camera, like nuts. But then there's some years I'm just like, I don't really even care. Like I don't care, just gonna go and hunt. But it's probably the years I don't shoot a big deer. So.
Yeah, like I said, I'll get them all in. But like you said, like I'm not. I've had a good summer. I mean, I've had a good year, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like since last deer season ended, I've had a hell of a year. So, like you said, what am I missing having cameras out now to see some velvet? Like if I had a big one on camera already, he might disappear when he sheds. Or one I don't have on camera might show up when he sheds. The big deer I was after last year, he didn't even show up last year till like September 3rd. Never even got him all summer.
Right.
So it's like, what difference does it make, dude? As long as the cameras get out and I know what I'm working with, I'm just gonna hunt.
Yeah, and enjoy it. Enjoy the process, as you would say.
That's right.
That's the way to do it. Is just enjoy
Process just looks a little different this year.
That's not the truth. But it keeps it fun. It keeps it more fun than it should, right? Like
it's almost like self-regulating the passion.
Yeah.
Too much, and then I'm not saying you get burnt out, but you kind of get burnt out. Like I don't know what other word to use for it, right? So it's like if I self-regulate and spend a little bit more time and passion on, say fly fishing or something else that I want to do in the summer, I'm kind of like bottling it all up. So when deer season does come, I can, uncork it and let loose.
Yeah. Well, it's nice because we've kind of taken on some new fun things, so it's kind of kept our mind occupied where we would typically be pounding the sand trying to find new land to hunt or whatever, like we kind of dialed that in, like over the couple of years, like where you want to be, like you said, to hunt the gut. And so it's been kind of fun. I will say, dude, the boys fishing Josh, he's still at Tri-State. Have you heard anything back from him?
Yeah, not much. They had a couple first 2 days. I think were a little rough out in the canyons. I know they caught a couple decent mahi. I think yesterday.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, I think official weigh-ins for today are over.
Today.
Today was the last day, and I haven't heard from them, so I don't know how they made out today.
I watched a live of them backing in some boats and stuff like that, so it was cool to watch and just kind of watch some teams that I actually knew, and it was like watching football, you're like, oh, there's your team, and kind of watch them, and they weighed in some pretty big fish, and the fishing has been red hot. I mean, locally and in the canyon. So I was just wondering how he ended up faring.
Yeah, I heard a little bit from him, but I don't know a ton, but I'm sure I'll hear from him probably tomorrow after recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That is super cool. Like I actually thought, obviously I didn't do it this year, but like next year I'm almost thinking about like taking a trip out to Block, like today, today next year, just to be there when they all roll in.
And just watch what they do. I mean, like, that's a big thing. So, like, when we would fish the Snug Harbor Shark Tournament or whatever, any of them, like, it's a pretty big thing. Like, people would come down the dock and be like, especially sharks, right? Because sharks are just absolutely behemoths, and they would catch giant makos and threshers, and it's just giant fish coming to the dock constantly. But there's always a big entourage that comes along with it. It's a tradition. It's a heritage in those areas. Like, it's huge. So, dude, I don't blame you at all. I think that would be the coolest trip ever to go out there and, cheer everybody on and see what they got going on. But you have to go to Block. That's one of the negatives, right? Because it's so dang far away. And
I like Block.
But it's a process, right? You can't just hop in the car and go see them for the afternoon. Like, you got to get on the ferry and get over.
We can fly.
What's that?
We can fly.
Oh, I guess you could, right? You could just go from west to...
block?
No, but it's like a 15-minute,
like-
right?
Yeah. If that. Like you take off and you're landing. It's awesome.
That is cool. That is so cool. So, yeah, follow those guys along. They're doing some cool things and see who won and see the pictures. We'll probably share some stuff, I'd imagine, once Josh hits back to land. He'll probably have some videos or craziness. And
I just text him. Maybe he'll text me back before we get done recording this.
before it's over, right? Yeah.
But I did a quick little coyote hunt the other night.
Did you?
Nothing came in though. Yeah. It was like slapped together last minute. Maddie texted me and was like, you wanna do a coyote hunt? And I'm like, usually when he says that, it's like later in the week, but he meant like tonight. And I was like, yeah, I better get moving, right? Like this is like in the evening. So I threw my shit together, flew over there, met up with him. We had Ryder with us, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But we had Maddie's brother with us too. And I think he moved and made more noise than Ryder did. So it was entertaining to say the least, but it was a good time.
Didn't see nothing.
No, they had just cut the field. That's why we did it.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
We'll see. It was pretty hot too. We'll probably slip back out there maybe next week sometime and give it another go. Just me and Maddie. Leave the kids at home.
Leave the loud things home, right? That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. I haven't done shit. We were just so busy. It's absolutely nuts right now. I did fish a little bit over the weekend. Actually, you know what I did do? So my birthday, I just literally got in the car and drove around, and we ended up down near Rhode Island, and I was like, oh, let me go find a fly shop. Just going, whatever, just something to do, driving around. I went down to Watch Hill Outfitters and picked up a ton of flies.
Some goldies?
Yeah, I went and got some goldies to throw in the box. Exactly. That's exactly what I did.
Did you use that Phil Sheffield promo code?
Yeah, I didn't use the promo code. I just straight bought it flat, but I got goldies in all 3 colors, and then some other bigger streamers and stuff to have for like smallmouth and.
You didn't get no sexy waltz worms?
I did get some sexy waltz worms to add. I did some Phil Chef's, some, what do they call them? Phil worms, I think. I don't even know, but
sexy waltz worm.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of stuff while I was down there. I spent like $100 on flies, but it was cool because I was picking through it and it says Phil Sheffield, and I'm like, oh, I gotta have these.
Who was working? Was there an older guy working or some kids?
No, 2 young kids.
See, I got to meet those kids. I heard good things about them.
Really?
Yeah. So when I went in there, the owner was working, and he was telling me about those kids, and they were actually on a fishing trip up north. They were in like Maine when I was in there, and like he was telling me about them, and like they got some. They're about it.
Really?
They're about it. Yeah.
The 2 of them did definitely, because it was kind of funny. I guess it's just me, and we talk about this in fly shops and stuff, and going into a fishing shop at all, and you kind of pay attention to what's going on, and you kind of listen to the guys that are working there, and like I know because I grew up in a fishing shop, so like, but the 2 kids were like something about some dude came in and asked him if he could put line on it, and it was kind of like one of those things, like the dude's like, do you know how to use the line machine? And the kid's like, he was trying to be nice, but he's like, why else would I work here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you question him? Like, of course he knows how to put line on it. He probably catches 3 times more fish than you in one day than you have in your whole entire life, Like, why are you questioning him?
Well, yeah, but you know what that comes from? That comes from like other places you go to, like when you like walk into Home Depot and the guy's like, "Can I help you?" And you're like, "No, you can't, because I know more than you. So just go away."
Or you go to the auto parts store and all they know how to do is just look up the parts on the computer. They actually don't have a clue what the part actually looks like. You ask them for an alternator, and if they didn't have the computer, they'd bring you the battery. Like one of those things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Like, can you help me? No, you can't. I know more than you. No. Just give me my part.
I've definitely had that egotistical, puffed out chest when I've gone into places before, and I shouldn't, but you do, because you're like, you don't have a clue what you're talking about.
You're usually not going to get that in like a small, like mom and pop kind of shop, like Watch Hill Outfitters or whatever. But like, look at Cabela's.
Yeah.
You go to Cabela's and like, some green shirt comes around. He's like, "Can I help you?" And you're like, probably not."
No, you cannot.
I'm all set, bud. Thanks.
Did I ever tell you this story? I was a young kid, and I used to fish a lot in the Norwich Harbor, and we used to striper fish a lot, like back in the day when it was like good. And I'd fish there every single night from the minute those fish came in, and I would literally follow those fish down the entire river. Well, and I'd spent my life there. I had a boat moored there, the whole 9 yards. Like, I lived in that harbor and always knew what worked, what didn't work, always like little tiny tricks and stuff. So I'm sitting there, I'm at the dwarf, and I'm fishing.
Dwarf?
The dwarf, yeah.
Like midget?
No, the dwarf. They call it the dwarf. It's the wharf, WOR, whatever. It's the
That was a wharf.
wharf. Yeah, there you go. So
Not like a Brad Jarvis dwarf.
no.
Is it a jetty or a yeti?
No, it's a dock. Okay, I'm at the dock, at the yacht club, and I'm standing there, and I'm just absolutely mopping up fish, and this kid's standing next to me, and I look at him, and I was like, "Hey, man. Here, dip your lure in this." And he's like, "Oh, I don't need none of that. I work at Cabela's. I know how to catch these fish." And I just kind of like, I was blown away, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'll just go back to catching fish then." I don't know. Like, it was just the way he said it to me, and I'm like, so just because because you work at Cabela's, that means you can catch fish? That's a thing? I didn't know that. That comes with the territory?
Yeah, it's on the job description. It's on the application. Can you catch a fish? All right, you're hired.
Yeah, well, yeah, he could not catch fish and probably shouldn't have worked. Yeah, it was. We used to use the Do It garlic chartreuse dip. So we would use a white Zoom Super Fluke, and you would dip it in the chartreuse dip, but it would have a garlic scent to it. And sometimes that would just make the difference. They made a pink one, a chartreuse one. That would just make the difference, especially in the muddier water. I don't know why, but it was just sometimes that worked better.
Hey, if it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use.
Yeah, that's right. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. But it was just kind of funny. It was just one of those things, and it's just like, man, well, it is what it is. I guess we talk a lot of shit about tackle companies, huh?
Well.
There's some really good ones out there. I'm not going to lie.
Usually they're the smaller mom and pop ones.
They are the small mom and pop. Like, you can go there, hang out, and tell stories for hours and, just hang out. Those are the ones. The real fishermen. The guys that are close early because they went fishing. So, speaking of good.
Yeah, when I was in Watch Hill, those two kids, he told me their names. I want to say one of them's named Steven and another kid. But they were up north. I think they went, I forget what he said. I want to say maybe steelhead, and then they were like blue line and natives.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were all excited because they were like, that was like their big trip. They were heading to Maine to go catch natives on like some 2.8s and some blue lines.
But they're big fly fishermen?
Yeah, that's what I didn't meet them. They weren't there when I was there. But the owner was telling me about the other kids that work there.
No, they're two young kids. Like they're
like 20, 21 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Super cool kids. Yeah. Yeah, I think that those are the two of them. They didn't say much about fly fishing though. That's kind of weird. Like, oh, maybe he was trying. Fly
fisherman.
Huh?
It means they're good fly fishermen. They can tell you all the secrets.
No, he did say like, "Are you going trout fishing?" And I'm like, "No, just kind of filling the box." Like I don't know. There's a mix. I was.
Maybe because it's so hot and he didn't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's all good. So, well, I guess we can get on with the podcast if you say, right? Let's get Cliff and Devian on. It was a blast having them boys on. It's cool to see. It really is. It's genuinely awesome to see what those boys got going on and what they deal with on the daily. Like, the grind is a whole different grind. But we appreciate those guys and what they're doing, and I'm glad that they started a project together because that's a really good team. So
for sure,
I look forward to it. So make sure to go check those guys on. Until next week, we all appreciate you and get outdoors.
The Outdoor Drive Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. We have Cliff and Devian from NYC Bowhunting Podcast. What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
We appreciate you guys. Oh, that's a New York. That's definitely a New York entrance right there. What's going on? Like,
Oh, you expect to be like, yo, what up, B? That's what you.
we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Well, boys, it's great to have you on. I know you guys have kind of started a new adventure, and we kind of wanted to spotlight that for you and kind of pass it along and hear all about it. So why don't you guys kick it right off? Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you guys do?
Go ahead first, partner.
All right, I'm used to going second. All right, so like Trev said, my name is Devian. I am an adult onset hunter. I started hunting at the age of like 35 for reasons unbeknownst to me. It was just the way the universe wanted it to be. But it's been a hell of a journey. I've met a lot of cool people. Yeah, I'm having a blast. So we have quite a robust community here on social media, and through social media's positivity instead of the negativity it's usually around there, I was able to fashion myself into somewhat of a hunter, and here I am now.
How about you, Cliff?
Well, I'm also an adult onset hunter, and what do you call it? Just picked it up by chance back, a couple years back, specifically like 2019, coming across social media pages like Cam Haynes, Dudley, stuff like that. Came across your content when you were on that janky podcast before. I don't know if Devian knows the history. I'm gonna have to talk to him about it offline.
Yeah.
But I used to listen to that religiously. And then me, Trev, we ran into each other at Harrisburg at the Great American Outdoor Show, literally just a few months before COVID hit, I remember. And then, and then just been grinding it out as best I can, between juggling work and my family and such. A couple of years back, I had started the podcast, When the Hunt Calls. Then life got to life and I put that on pause. But then I met Devian at an event. Was it at the BHA event?
Yeah.
About a year back. And a funny story was Devian had reached out to me like a year or two prior to that on social media. But when I looked at his content, I thought he was just like some weird prepper or something like that. So
Oh, good. You can say I was stalking you. It's cool.
because he was really like, he was just really outgoing. You know what I'm saying? He was really nice, respectful. But then like I'm like, who is this dude that keeps telling me he lives near me? And and all I see is knives on his Instagram page and stuff like that. So I avoided him, like actively avoided him for a little bit. And then we ran into each other at a BHA event, and I was like, "Oh, this dude isn't a stalker. He's not a weird prepper or anything like that." And we hit it off. Turns out he lives 5 minutes away from me, and we had so much in common between being adult onset hunters, being married men, having kids, and then being men of faith. So from there, I was like, I had been interested in kicking off the show again. Asked him if he wanted to partner up with me, because the other thing is, solo creating content by yourself can become an endeavor, but then when you have someone else contributing to that, it takes a whole lot off your plate.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's where we're at now.
That's awesome. So what made you want to bring back the show? Like, I know that when you did When the Hunt Calls and stuff, you did very well with it. It went very well. But what made you want to bring it back to life?
Okay, see, so all right, you guys know I'm a driver for UPS, so I put in a lot of hours per week. Even being able to get available to be on here now was kind of a chore. You know what I'm saying? Then add to that, my family comes first, my wife, my kids. So it's it's difficult for me to get out into the woods, right? So I try to capitalize on that time as best as I can, try to learn as much as possible when I'm out there. But then when I'm here as well, when I'm home, days that I can't make it out to the woods, I try to read, consume all types of content. And even when I'm out on the road delivering packages all day, I'm listening to podcasts and I'm having conversations with people. And I realized that with the podcast before, I had such awesome opportunities to speak and learn from different people. I was like, you know what? I got to bring this back again. And at the end of the day, if in those conversations that Dev and I are having, other people are able to learn things as well, then cool. But for the most part, like I'll give you a perfect example today. We had Matt Ross from NDA. We were interviewing today, and we told Matt we're going to be selfish. Normally, we're more about producing content for the listeners to learn something. Today, we were posing questions to this guest because we want to apply whatever he was telling us to what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks in terms of scouting, looking for sign, and everything like that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
today was really a selfish recording. It was all about our questions and what we wanted to know, what we wanted to learn. You know what I'm saying? So we could apply it.
So that's
100%.
That's a huge thing.
Because you got to think about it this way. If you're thinking about it, or it's something that you need to apply or want to apply, especially in the near future, you've got to think everybody listening is thinking the same thing.
Right.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And think about this too, and we talk about this a ton, and it's not a really, it's great. The listeners are going to find you based on...
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
Ah, Smart Water. Pure, crisp taste.
That's really good water.
It's the kind of water that says, I have my life together.
I do feel more sophisticated.
Smart Water. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Midway USA has everything you need for a successful day at the range. Load up your range bag with your targets, shooting rest bags, eye and ear protection, as well as magazine pouches, mag loaders, and basic gun cleaning supplies. Protect your favorite firearms with durable, hard, or soft gun cases, and bring along your tactical or shooting vest to carry additional gear and gadgets. Midway USA has all you need for the range, plus self-defense and safe storage products to ensure your guns and gear are well organized and secure for when you get back home. For just about everything for shooting, shop MidwayUSA.com.
Having someone from the National Deer Association, whatever, like, you're definitely going to get people, and they're going to want to hear the same things as a non-podcaster. If you're listening to a podcast, you're always constantly in the back of your mind like, oh, well, what if this? What if that? And then you go and you do that research. So if you're actively asking those questions that you want to know personally, they're going to answer those questions for other people. I mean, Steve says it the best. That's how he would do it when it was, like, not being on a podcast, but being a consumer and listener. You want to hear what really, you want to tear apart that person. So it's important to ask them those questions that you want to know, because that's how they learn, and that's how you learn, right? That's how everybody learns. So there is a positive there. I think it's,
it's been an interesting process for me as a hunter, because like Cliff said, I got no shame in my game, bro. I'm too old. I grew up in the city. If I got a question, I'm gonna ask it. I slide in people's DMs all day. Listen, what is this? What do you got going on? Listen, I'm proud of it.
So you are a talker.
That's how Cliff got it.
Word. But yeah, I mean, that dude, Matt Ross, I can't tell you how many times I've messaged him just with the most ridiculous questions that you could be asking. A man, I'm almost 40 years old, and here I am asking him questions that like a 16-year-old probably knows the answer to, but I didn't. And I have no shame in asking those questions. And I've done that through most influencers in some capacity. I have no problem sliding people's DMs like, hey, what are you talking about here? What's this arrow? What bow are you shooting? Why are you shooting? Like, and man, again, the positivity on Instagram. Everybody talks about the negativity, but the positivity on Instagram that I've felt was part of the conversation when me and Cliff started having those initial conversations. And he was like, hey, I think I'd like to bring you on as a co-host on this podcast. What are your thoughts? And we talked about it for probably, Cliff, what was that, like 2-3 months before it came to fruition, and we weren't even going to start it until I think like January. And then you called me one day like, yo, are you available to record tomorrow? Let's just start this.
Yeah,
And I was like, let's do it.
yeah, because it got to a point where I was just like, you gotta just sometimes, even if you don't have everything you need, sometimes I feel like the quality of the conversation, as long as you get that across more than anything else, you know what I'm saying? That's what's most important. you know it's and like he said, he's been asking people crap load of questions. It's like you, Trev, like we found each other on Instagram. I told you, I was a fan of the podcast. We met, like I said, all those years ago at Harrisburg. You were kind enough, like you shared your number. Even dudes like Kurt, WCB, Kurt, like I remember one time I didn't know what it meant to bump a deer. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to Kurt, because I used to listen to WCB guys all the time. Why am I saying that wrong? WBC or
WCB.
WCB?
You said it right.
Why do I feel like I'm dyslexic right now?
Yeah.
But so working class bow hunter.
It's that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah. He's gonna bring out the books with it. Yeah, you too, Steve. You could get it. But yeah, so like I remember reaching out to Kurt. I slid into his DMs and he was just like, "Hey, I've been listening to the podcast. I hear you guys said there's one particular episode they were talking about bumping deer, but I couldn't understand the context. What did it mean to bump deer?" And just that simple question, Kurt didn't shame me for asking such a simple thing. You know what I'm saying? A simple definition. And he was just like, "Hey, this is what that means." You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we're talking about, Devian and I. Like, sometimes social media does get a bad rap, but we've been lucky to have some good experiences with a lot of good people.
I think that the good experiences are definitely out there, but you have to search for them, and you can't be afraid. That's the biggest thing. Like, you can't be. I think the big thing with the hunting industry as a whole, like if you did it publicly, I think it's a public thing. So like if it's in a group or somewhere that other people can read it, then it's a swinging contest at that point, right? But if you're talking to them one-on-one and having a conversation, like, dude, listen, we were all there at one point in our lives. Like, you have to start somewhere. You have to fail to then succeed, right? And like, so we were all in that point, but we just happened to be 6 years old when it happened. You know what I'm saying? And like, and you just gradually learn. And I think it's some of those things that we kind of take for granted sometimes. So you kind of gotta slow down, dull it down, and then proceed through, because there's a ton of people out there that are listening to it. But instead of trying to be advanced and all this other stuff, you have to just talk as if you're just learning, because there's things that we as advanced outdoorsmen, like, that we're still learning. We take on new things every day, whether it's a mock scrape, whether it's whether it's thermals, whether it's whatever, it doesn't matter. Those are new things to us too, and we kind of are dumb, and we have to kind of learn from the beginning too. So like, those things gradually happen all the time to all of us.
Agreed.
So my thing is, like, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you have gone through that are tough to overcome as adult hunters?
You want to take this one, Dev, or?
No, start, because I gotta think about that one. That's a good question.
For me, has been the whole logistics of it. All right, so prior to hunting, I didn't even know, like, to me, the idea of public land was the open park down the block for me that I could go shoot some ball at. You know what I'm saying? That's public land is what I used to think. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, where it's like acres upon acres of this property that I could hike, bike, and hunt. You know what I'm saying? Even fish on and whatnot. So it was cool to learn that, all this, Westchester, just, 45 minutes to an hour north of us, was bow hunting only. It was a bow hunting only county, So that was one sort of drawback, was the lack of knowledge, right? Lack of awareness, I should say, of what's available to us as hunters or public land owners, right? If you want to say that. Then the other thing was just navigating the logistics, because I don't come from a hunting family. My wife doesn't have a desire to hunt. My kids don't really. Well, you know what? While my wife doesn't have a desire to hunt, I got to give her props and shout her out, because she actually went out one day with me during the spring turkey season. Yeah, she actually joined me just from early morning till noon. We sat in that blind together. She was a trooper. And then my kids, it's funny because the year I decided I wanted to hunt that fall, my daughter had started playing volleyball in school. You know what I'm saying? Then my son is playing basketball in a church league. So it's navigating all of that, especially when you don't come from a hunting family. It's not a drawback as it is just a challenge that you just have to figure out. It's just like if you want to hang out with the guys, but you have commitments to your family and stuff like that. So you figure out a way to make sure you meet your commitments to your family and still be able to enjoy seeing your boys,
Mm-hmm. I got a quick question before we go on. What was your wife's thoughts of never being in the woods and that first time to sit in the woods for those couple hours?
All right, so here's my wife's sort of mentality when it comes to hunting. She understands it. She understands it for those and agrees with it for those who grew up with it. For those who it's they experience a hunting tradition. It's something within their family. She understands it as it fits in the lives of those who hunt for sustenance. Who really, rather than buying supermarket meat, they grew up hunting and such, and they live out in like places that are probably way far from a local supermarket. She gets it, but she wholeheartedly believes, or the way I understand it, I should say, is that us living in a metropolitan area, doing what I'm doing isn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It's if like I believe that if it came down to it and it was something we needed to do, as opposed to just wanting to do, she'd have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, so that's why I was kind of surprised because I've asked her before to join me in the hunting blind, turkey hunting blind, I should say, because with turkey hunting, I don't know what the hours are in Connecticut, but in New York, it's sunrise, 30 minutes before sunrise till noon. It's not all day, so I knew it wouldn't take up all of our day, and we'd be home well before lunch, and so one weekend when I knew I was going out, she was like, "Yeah, I'll go." So she was a real trooper. Packed, woke her up early in the morning. We packed up, and then Devian was kind enough to let us use his blind. We just sat there all day. And being that it was so late in the season, I wasn't really calling that heavily that often. Hello, hello. You guys there?
Yeah.
It was like once. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, good. Sorry, you guys have froze a little bit. So I wasn't hitting the call that often. I was hitting the call like once every like 30 to 45 minutes tops, waiting until I heard something. And we had been there for a while. So what ended up happening was, I can't remember. Do you remember what time of the day I told you it was? The morning, Deb, by any chance? Was it like 10:30?
Yeah, it was probably somewhere between 9:30 and 10:30.
Yeah, like sometime within that hour, right? She's sleeping, dozing off every couple minutes or so because it's just boring. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting any gobbles or anything like that. And we're sitting in one of these see-through blinds where the back panel is solid and then the other three panels are see-through. So we're back to the blind, looking out front of us, left, right. I hit the call. All of a sudden, I mean, it hit like thunder, like behind us and to our right. And I was like, dang. All right. And I don't know if she'll admit this, and it's funny, I haven't really asked her, but I thought she kind of jumped and her eyes opened up once, because those gobbles were so close. Right. So I'm whispering, I grabbed my bow and I'm whispering to her. I was like, I need you to just slide this down really slowly. Right. And so as she's doing so, she's sliding down, and now I've got to turn to my right to look out this see-through panel, right? And I'm forgetting that once she drops that blind down, if I can see through that panel, that means whatever's looking in at me, right, into the blind, can now see my silhouette because they can see through the panel that's directly behind me. So now I'm like, my outline is just out there. So she's trying to move slowly. I'm drawing back my bow. I got my bow back at full draw, and she drops the window to the blind down as slowly as she can. There's a tree right there. So literally immediately to our right, like just immediately to our right and just behind us is a tree. And I'm like, crap. I'm like, all right. So now the solid colored what do you call it, panel, the blind has a flap, like a button flap. So I'm trying to maneuver. Still, I didn't let down my arrow or my bow. I'm still at full draw, and I'm trying to move out the way and back up, and I'm still making noise, right? And she unbuttons the flap, and she lets it down. By that time, the turkeys were way out of range. They were already running uphill. They didn't fly off, oddly enough, but they were just scurrying just all the way uphill, and I had no shot. Because it was literally what I didn't remember was that directly behind us was a tree. To our right was a tree, and then there was a huge tree, fallen tree, directly behind us. Like the blind was up against it. So it's like if I were to try to get out, that would have made even more noise and just scared them off anyway. So that was what do you call it, that experience there. Like at least she got to hear gobbles, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And see what it was like to hit the call and have the turkeys gobble back.
That's cool. That's I mean, that's half the battle, right? Killing it is just it is what it is, but to go through it and hear it and the world come alive and all that, that's the fun part.
Yep.
So Devian, what was your trials and tribulations as an adult hunter?
I would say there's probably two that stick out. The first and the most daunting, and I ended up going through like a mentored hunt in order to kind of get that barrier to entry. Was I had a bow, I had been shooting for a while, I was comfortable, I had all the camo, I had the gear, I kind of knew the process. I didn't know what to do, I didn't know where to go, I didn't know where to park on these. I figured you could find a map and like even a parking pull-off. Like, can I just leave my car roadside? Like in the city, you leave your car double parked, they're towing you. So in my head, if I leave my car on the side of the road, either somebody's stealing it or it's getting towed. Not realizing that this is like a normal occurrence apparently. So like even like all those questions and nobody to answer them left me with, I was like, okay, well, I have one option. I have to find someone to take me out, or I have to find an organization to take me out. And I ended up finding an organization that was hosting a mentored hunt. So I was like, you know what, let me go out and see. And it's crazy because it was my wedding anniversary is December 2nd. My daughter was born on Black Friday of that year. And then that hunt was on December 1st. So I remember being in the hospital when I got the email, looking at my wife and saying, hey, here's the situation. Here's what we've been talking about. What do you think? And she said, go. And I was like, no, really. Like, is this go or is this go? She was like, no, really go. And I was like, all right. So on my wedding anniversary, I sat there and learned about deer. And that's when I met that guy, Matt Ross, who we spoke to today from NDA. And it was everything that I needed. But then that was the end of the season. We're talking December 2nd, 3rd, and then by the end of I didn't go back out again until that next turkey season. So that was the first kind of like real tough one for me. And the second one it's probably one that I haven't ever mentioned before, but a lot of the marketing and a lot of the sales and the products are geared towards either Western or like Midwestern hunters. There's nothing really East Coast specific, not the way the camo looks, not the way the patterns look, not the way the clothing layers are built. Like there was nothing particularly New York about anything. So I can't tell you how many different companies of camo I went through before I found stuff that was comfortable, how many different types of layering systems I have, things down to like the way you set your bow down, the type of ground blinds that are available. That's why inevitably I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a saddle. And I started rocking that. And I had no idea how to use it. I just went out in the dark one day and I was like, hey, I'm either going to be successful or I'm going to die. And here I am.
Sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy that you say that. Like you're 100% correct, because the industry in itself is geared towards the Midwest and Western hunting, like 100%. Like when they hear East Coast, they're like, you guys hunt up there? It's the brick city. Like, what do you mean you guys hunt? Like, but there's a ton of it, and some of the best opportunities are where we live. Like,
Yeah.
there's a ton
It's
of
funny. We met at the Great American Outdoor Show. When I met you gentlemen, we met a guy. Dang, I can't remember his name. I have his phone number in my phone, but I met a guy he's like a videographer for Whitetail Adrenaline,
Mhm.
and we were talking to him, and I remember me and Cliff standing side by side. We're like, yeah, we're NYC bow hunters. He goes, NYC, New York City, bow hunters. I was like, what do you guys bow hunt out there? And we started talking. He's like, wow, that's actually really crazy. I didn't think that anybody in New York City bow hunted or hunted in general. And then he was like, maybe one day we'll like come out and like film a project with you guys. And I was like, dang, we're like a diamond in the rough out here.
Yeah, we are an anomaly. And you know what's funny? What's the flip side from Devian's experience with? I like to talk. I like to call Devian the gear junkie because he's tried a lot of different stuff, right? Whereas I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I was in like the bargain section of places, like putting things together. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, when I first started out, I was in love with Realtree. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I thought the pattern was just really cool. And I kept going to a local Dick's Sporting Goods, like not that local, but out on Long Island, about an hour east. And I was on their clearance rack. I bought like a Realtree Edge Under Armour hoodie. I bought what was it? An Under Armour pants from I can't even tell you the brand, but it wasn't. I mean, it was not Under Armour. Realtree Edge pants, like winter pants that wasn't the same brand. Then I discovered like Bottomland, right? And I started patching stuff together. I have some stuff from Colombia that are in Bottomland. I had a hoodie that was Bottomland. Like I'm like just scrapping stuff together. Like, and to be honest, this will be the first deer season. I've got a full complete set. Same camo pattern, same company, same everything. So that's the other thing. Sometimes it depends on the hunter where they're at and stuff like that in their journey, what they're able to do. Some guys will be able to grab gear from wherever they want and figure out what they like. Other guys, regardless of what they like or not, might be able to just grab what they can. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny to hear, Cliff, because whether you start at a later age, like as an adult hunter, or like we started as kids, that's part of the process, right? Mismatched camo. For me, with Walmart, I killed a lot of deer with Walmart camo and shit that didn't match. And then eventually I got like old enough where I could like start stealing some of the shit my dad doesn't wear anymore and kind of start patching it together like that. And then like one day, you made it when you're like, dude, I got a whole set. It all matches. It's all the same brand. Like I might not kill anything today, but I look good, bro. Like
right?
Good.
Hey, you look good, you feel good, right?
Right, but
it's crazy. It's a New York City thing too, because
it's funny. It's not an age thing. It's just it's part of the process.
It is.
Yeah, got it.
In NYC, we're very specific about not matching brands. Like you forget about hunting. Like you talk about like just like outerwear apparel. Like I'm not wearing Adidas pants with Nike sneakers.
No.
It's just not happening.
Yes.
So the camo thing, it's always been in my head. If I'm buying First Light, everything's got to be First Light.
Oh yeah.
If I'm buying Kids Camo, everything's. So I've always bought full sets at a time.
Hold on, Trev made a face. Trev, are you guilty of wearing Adidas gear with Nike gear?
Yeah, bro. I mismatch wear Crocs with socks. I don't give a shit. Like it don't matter to me, bro.
I don't even. And you can probably get away with this one. I don't even like wearing Nike socks with Jordans.
Yeah.
I can't even. It's okay, but it's close.
Trev doesn't get it.
No. Yeah, I live in a different world, son. Like that's not even a thing. If it's raining,
he's a Red Sox fan too, so that just tell you where he's at.
Yo, we weren't going there, bro. We weren't going there.
It's funny you say that. I went fishing for the like freshwater fishing on a piece of public not too long, maybe 2 weeks ago, and one of the guys that I was with, he hates snakes. Like he's deathly afraid of snakes. So we get out the truck and he's wearing basketball shorts, and he finds out there's snakes. He's like, "Oh, bro, I'm about to put on boots." I'm like, "Bro, you're not gonna walk out there with basketball shorts and boots on. You're gonna look crazy." He's like, I don't want to get bit by a snake. I was like, "Bro, just risk it. You'll be fine." So he kept his dunks on, and thankfully no snakes came across. We didn't come across any snakes. And
for fashion's sake, don't worry about it.
Like, you'll be right. Come on,
it don't matter if he's got on slides, shoes, boots, gaiters. It don't matter. If there's a snake that's gonna bite him, it's gonna get him. It doesn't.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, nothing is gonna help him. Like
Midway USA brand product designers have one straightforward goal: develop high-quality, technically sound products and deliver them to customers at reasonable prices. If you are immersed in the shooting sports industry and pay close attention to every single detail, you know our products are built right and stand up to everyday use. Who has shooting mats and range bag systems to hunting clothing and just about everything for the outdoors? Log on and shop 24/7 with super fast shipping. MidwayUSA.com.
This episode is brought to you by Boat Trader, America's largest boating marketplace. Whether you're buying, selling, or upgrading, the Boat Trader app makes it easy. With the biggest selection of new and used boats from dealers and private sellers. Browse, compare, and even apply for financing. All in one place. Download the Boat Trader app and start your search today.
Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
I didn't know that it was against the law to mismatch like that. I didn't know. It's like,
dude, I go out on my route all day, every day, and it annoys the crap out of me when I see these kids wearing Adidas track pants with Jordans on or something like that. And like my kids know you got to match up. You know what I'm saying? They always know. So, but like these kids in these streets, man, have no sense.
Well, don't come down these streets because they really don't have no sense, bro.
I get it.
But to go back on it, honestly, when it comes to the camouflage, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we've all killed deer in blue jeans. Like, you know, the camo thing, yeah, it's look good, feel good, right? But, like, we mismatch camo, blue jeans, denim, it doesn't matter. Like, it or flannel, whatever. Like, this is the thing. Think about this for a second. The deer don't care what you're wearing because you have an orange vest on top of it anyways half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it
very true.
During gun season. So like but I get it and understand it. I mean, I wear mismatched camo up until a couple of years ago when, you know, we were given camo. I'd still wear mismatched camo if I could, right? Like,
yeah. You know what's funny is our turkey hunting mentor. It's funny because dude that took me out turkey hunting he took you out deer hunting, right?
Deer hunting, yeah.
Shout out to Brian Bird of BHA, if you don't mind. He took me turkey hunting, and I remember he wore a bucket hat, I think a leafy top, and then camo pants. None of it matched. You know what I'm saying? And this is a dude that has killed more turkey than Debbie and I can count. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I was like, that was the lesson. Is like, it's all about breaking up your silhouette and blending in. So everything doesn't have to match.
That's a valid point. Being on the ground, my dad taught me that at a very young age, that to have different darker camo on your bottom than you do on your top, so that when you sit against the tree, your camo is different here than there, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
I always thought that was bullshit, and they were just telling us that to make us feel better about having camo that didn't match. He's like, put the clothes on, let's go. No, but it is true, though, for sure.
No, I think it's a little bit of both there, Steve, to be honest with you. So what is some of the do you guys get like looks hunting in the NYC or being a hunter or shooting your bow? Like, I bet you it's a different world. Like it's not, you know, like not everybody does it, right? Like, it's not everything. It's not every day that you see that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like hunt in NYC, but like I went to pick up. So during turkey season, not this past one, the one before. So 2024's turkey season. Does that make sense? Yeah. We're in 2025. Had to remember what day, what month, what year we were in. I was on a turkey hunt, and I immediately left that hunt as soon as we were done. You know, it was actually a turkey camp, so I drove from there and I went straight to my daughter's school and I picked her up. So I'm wearing my camo bottoms, just a black hoodie and some slides. And the guy, one of the parents, is there, and He's like, "Oh, that's an interesting getup you got on," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just came from turkey hunting." He goes, "Where the hell?" And it became. I realized in that moment, oh no, you got to stop. You're gonna ostracize your child here. She's gonna have no friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the one and only experience. I mean, I would imagine. I'm always careful with who I let this information out in front of. Especially I work in a pretty uppity environment. I work in Westchester County, and I work in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Westchester County. So I'm very selective with who I'm like. Oh yeah, I'm a hunter, for the most part.
It's I've got two short stories that I think you guys will find funny. So a lot of times I try to fuel up my car the night before I go out for a hunt, right? But every once in a while I forget. So especially when I'm turkey hunting, I don't got to worry about scent or anything like that. So I have my camo all on. And I go to the gas station, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, the only people in the gas station or at the 7-Eleven are the cats getting out of bars and clubs and stuff like that. So I'm fueling up or whatever. Another dude pulls up, and he's looking at me up and down, and he goes, "Going hunting?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool." And he just turns around and walks away, just like that. The funniest experience I've had was I got the opportunity to be the subject of an article, an NWTF article, right? And they had to do a photo shoot for it. So the photographer and we hopped on a New York City train, right? And while we were waiting for the train, I'm all decked out in my camo, right? And dude walks up, stumbling, half drunk, and he's like, "Oh, thank you for your service." And then he continues walking. Me and this cameraman just look at each other, just started cracking up. Like, I'm like, wrong camo, my guy. You know?
What about so this public land that you guys, short drive from where you guys live? Also, by the way, I meant to mention NYC is probably the only place you can go hunting. You come out and your car's booted, huh? but no, seriously. So anybody that's like in the city, they want to go out in nature, whether it be like hiking, bird watching, biking, whatever. Just be in nature. Like they're gonna hit that. I'm sure it's a popular area, right? So what's it like coming out of the woods or going into the woods and running into non-hunters? Do you have get any weird looks or reactions from people like that probably don't even know you're allowed to hunt there?
Well, all right. So, something to know is I don't know if we stated it before, but in the 5 boroughs of New York City, hunting is not permitted. Right. You can only go hunting out east on Long Island, and then up north in Westchester. But like something I think some folks probably don't know is there are state parks located within the city as well. Like I want to say almost each borough of New York City has its own state park. Some bigger than others, but they're open to the public for like hiking, bird watching stuff, even fishing, depending on how close to the water they are. But when you head up north, when you head out east, for the most part, residents in those areas, because we brought this up in the podcast today with Matt. It was that we were asking him to help us figure out tactics for public land that's so fragmented, because it'll be this parcel here that may be shaped like real weird, and then there's a house like right here smack. So there's public land on the, like, basically a public land was surrounded on all three sides except for the front side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we were trying to, like Devian and I were basically just trying to put together a plan of action with understanding of how deer move, on property like this. So usually residents in the area are familiar that there's hunting permitted on the public lands around their homes. Now, when you get into a situation when it becomes specific to a certain type of game, so let's say turkey, for example. So residents of Long Island are totally familiar with the deer season and how hunters access these public lands on Long Island for deer. But just maybe 2 years ago, 3 years, they started a spring turkey season out on Long Island. So now the first season that I tried to hunt out there, I had an issue and I had to call the conservation officer because me and my buddy are out there hunting, and then like 5 mountain bikers come riding through. You know what I'm saying? Is because they weren't used to or weren't aware of the fact that there's a new turkey season out on what do you call it, in their area, and that the park is closed off to hikers, mountain bikers, and so basically it's only open to turkey.
Oh,
yeah. They don't want no mountain
That's
bikers, hikers,
awesome.
or anything. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, no, but the thing is, but here's the kicker. Here's why also. All right, because in Westchester, the public land is, which is north of us, the public land is still open to hikers and mountain bikers, whoever, right? Because Westchester is bow only.
Right.
right.
Long Island allows shotguns, so you don't want shotgun hunters and hikers, cyclists, and stuff like that out there. So the residents in Suffolk County, because Long Island is broken up into Nassau County and Suffolk County. Nassau County, which is closer to the city, hunting isn't permitted. Suffolk County, which is further east, it is permitted, and shotgun hunting for turkey is permitted. So they literally had signs up, but people who are used to being able to go in with their bikes probably didn't pay any attention to it because they didn't think anything changed. You know what I'm saying? So then we're trying to yell. At the time when me and my buddy experienced this, he had a shotgun, I had my bow. You know what I'm saying? And then we're flagging these guys down like, hey, just a heads up, you need to get out of here because we're not the only ones in here in these woods. And chances are whoever else is in here, they got shotguns too. So we had to call the conservation officer, and luckily this year, thankfully enough, I believe this was the 3rd year of the spring season in Suffolk County, no issues like that.
That's sweet though.
Yeah, that is super awesome that they do that.
Yeah.
So I want to go back on the whole, like, the dude saying to you, like, thanks for your service and all that stuff. And then, Devian was talking about going and picking up his daughter from school. One of the things that we have to deal with hugely, even with us, and listen, I live in the country and so does Steve, but it's still one of those things that we are very selective as to, like, boasting the fact of hunting around our area because, like, not everybody is acceptive of it. I mean, we had a story. I don't know if y'all has heard this story, but we were up turkey hunting last day of turkey season in Rhode Island, and we're standing there and we're about to get out of the truck. It's our last little go around. We're standing on the edge of the truck, and these, like, hippie walkers come walking by us, and they're like, we're not going to wish you luck. And we're like, we didn't ask you to, but all right. And they knew that we were hunting, and they were not okay with it. So we deal with it too, and we're in suburbia, like there's a lot of woods around us, but we still deal with that anti-hunting thing. But then fast forward to, like, being out in the Midwest, you go to the gas station at the end of the night and you're wearing camo, it's like a hoedown. There's like 25 people like, yo, what did you see today? What did you see? Oh, how was the hunting? Oh my God, you killed a deer? Someone kills a deer. It's a party. Like, everyone's grabbing a beer and they're sitting around the tailgate telling a story. Like, but for some reason, the armpit that we live in, man, they just, you can't voice the fact that you're a hunter. And it's
but the thing is, I apologize for cutting you off, but the other thing, and I think Devian can attest to this, is all right, the thing is, all right, we live in a society right now in a world where a lot of folks are just keyboard warriors talking a lot of shit, online, right? And then even when you, like you said, you're wary of who you tell you're a hunter and stuff like that. And so you don't bring it up, and you get somebody like those hippies saying, we're not going to wish you luck. To be honest, as Devian and I are men of faith, we're Christians, I don't give a fuck. Like, you want to come out your face, to me in person, you're going to catch these hands. You're going to get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? Attitude, especially if you don't know me. We live in a city where, you're safe behind your computer screen, behind your keyboard and stuff like that. But you come out your face on the street, something might happen. You know what I'm saying?
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, It's like, we're not in a place where people will take that risk. So like, for example, while I was in the train station, that one guy was like, "Thank you for your service." Everybody else just went about their day like nothing was happening. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people tend to they don't want to get involved in anything and stuff like that for fear of an altercation. And that's basically it. Is you get if it's like if somebody were to say something slick, you know what I'm saying? If the dude at the gas station I experienced said something slick, I'd be like, "What'd you say? What'd you just say?" You know what I'm saying? Just like that. And so I guess it's just different, especially coming from here.
A lot of it, though, I don't want to say it's ignorance, but it's like lack of education. Like a lot of people that I run into, they don't even know. Like I can't tell you how many times I've run into people either a lot of times coming out of the woods and, "Oh, are you hunting?" "Yeah." "Oh, I didn't know you could hunt here." And like I take the opportunity to educate them because they don't know. And a lot of times, you know, I had one that pops into my mind. She was like, "Oh, are we safe?" "Yeah, you're safe." You know, so they just don't know. So if you take that opportunity to like explain to them how it works and what you're doing and where, like, you can kind of comfort them, and at least they leave with like a positive outlook on it to not be afraid that people are hunting in the area. And who knows, maybe they'll go back and tell their friends, like, "Hey, I ran into this hunter and he was pretty cool and he told me this and he told me that." And kind of like spread the knowledge a little bit.
People will be like,
the only
"Oh, God."
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. People will be like, "Oh, are you going hunting?" And I used to be a wise ass, and I'd be like, "No, it's a tree dressing contest. I'm just dressing like a tree. Like, of course I'm going hunting. Like, I don't know. Like, I used to say some wise comment, you know."
Dude, the funniest and sometimes awkward interactions I'll get, for example, at the public land I'm hunting, is usually when I'm deer hunting. I've got a neck gaiter up over my face, hat all the way down, gloves on, depending on how cold it is. It's when I come out the woods, open up my trunk, take my glove off, take my hat off, take my mask off, and they see a brother, you know, say in camo, and it's not it's just, "You hunt?" Like that. That'll be the question. Like, "You hunt?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." It's like, again, no, I just wanted to come out here dressed like a tree.
Yeah, I'm playing hide and go seek with the neighbors. Like, what do you think I'm doing, bro? It's crazy. It's just crazy that people would act like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. I guess that we're in this world, right?
Yeah. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I've had more positive interactions with that. It's just not something that's as common to see, you know, where we're from. So it's all about how they approach it. And at first it's gonna be like, you know, they're taken aback, but then 99% of the time I've had some cool conversations after that.
Yeah. Same. The only time I don't avoid.
It's interesting. I've been.
No, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I've had a couple of instances of the complete opposite reaction, where I like to call it the kind of Rogan effect. You know, Rogan's on his podcast and he's talking about hunting a lot, and I've had people like I work in a gym, so I have like wealthy people like find out that I hunt from, like, you know, overhearing a conversation I had with somebody else, and they're like, "Oh man, you hunt?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I do." "Also, are you on a carnivore diet?" I'm like, "What the hell? No, what are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh man, do you like psychedelics?" I was like, "All right, I'm gonna walk away from this conversation."
That's funny.
Devian, you got to ask him. Yeah, you got any? Like,
I'll show you some steaks and some shrooms. Oh shit. No, what I was gonna say is I don't like fully agree with Trev. Like, I don't avoid you know, like going into a gas station or running into anybody. Like, I don't care if anybody hunts. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm proud of it. No one, like you said, Cliff, no one's gonna give me shit for it. Like, I grew up doing this. This is my lifestyle. Like, you can go fuck yourself. The only time I get sneaky about it is public land. I don't want people getting nosy about what I'm doing and like where specifically I'm doing it. So like, it's not uncommon. Like, I'll hear someone coming down the trail and I'll hide. Like, I'll duck behind a tree because I just don't want them to associate a hunter with, you know, that block of timber or that corner of the property. So like, I'll hide and like watch them go by, and then I'll slip back out and like head back to my truck that way. But like, as far as like running into people in the parking lot or at the gas station or whatever, that's when I'll take the opportunity to like educate and explain to them what it's really all about, you know?
It's funny you say that. This turkey season opening day, I got out there wild. I actually did.
Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to MidwayUSA.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at MidwayUSA.com. Thanks for your business. Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
What you're not supposed to do. I slept out on public land that night, so I have a rooftop tent. I opened a tent and I slept out there the whole night because I was like, listen, last year, like 6 dudes beat me out there. I was like, you can't beat me out here if I'm out here the whole night.
Hell yeah.
I slept out there and I woke up. I folded up the tent. I packed everything up and I got into my spot like an hour and a half ahead of schedule. And I'm sitting against this tree and I'm kind of like at this point where I'm like nodding off. And now it's still dark, but first light is like maybe 25 minutes away from where where the time was now. And I see this guy coming up to me and I'm like, shit, I'm just going to stay here and not. It felt like that. You guys remember the movie Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's kind of in the mud and the Predator and he's hiding and he's holding the vines and he's up there and he's not moving. I was like, I'm just not going to move. And the dude walked not 3 feet in front of me and kept going. And I have the complete opposite mindset. People ask me, oh, where'd you set up? I'm going to tell them, listen, I set up right here. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to believe me anyway. They're going to say, nah, like there's nothing there. We're going to go, he's lying to us. We're going to go check out our spot anyway.
Yeah, it's tough though, because like if guys, I think the parking lot interaction, it's tough because some people they're going to go right where you were. Or you tell them where you're going and they try and cut you off. I've had that happen a million times. You're like, oh, I'm going there. And they go, oh, yeah, they'll be like, oh, I'm going to the left. And you'll be like, oh, I'm going to the right. And then you go to walk in and you walk by them. You're like, bro, that's not to the left. Like, I've had that happen. I don't know. The parking lot interactions you got to be super careful with.
It seems like everybody's either too honest or everybody's lying. One of the two.
I got another story. I was too honest. One deer hunt. I'm in my climber, and like early that morning, or the night before, the weatherman said a storm was coming in early afternoon. So I already planned I would be out of the woods before that storm hit, right? So around like 10:30 that morning, this beautiful 6-pointer comes in. First time I'd really seen a buck. Unfortunately, though, he came in broadside like 70, 80 yards, but then turned right towards me and just made a beeline for me. The coolest experience was he had no clue I was there. He walked right under me and then continued to walk straight past me, right? Dopest experience I've had of seeing a buck. So like 12 o'clock hits, my tree, the wind starts gusting and my tree is swaying like crazy. So I was like, all right, this storm's coming. Let me get out the tree. Climb down, go back to the parking lot, see another dude drive up. He's just arriving midday. It's like I said, after 12. And so we're talking, we're both agreeing, yeah, there's a storm coming. I was like, all right. He's like, before I left, he's like, did you see anything? I'm thinking to myself, what's it hurt? What's it going to hurt? I was like, we both, are leaving because we both know the storm is coming, right? And I tell him about this 6-pointer. He's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And I point on the map, yeah, right around here. And he's like, all right, cool, cool. So then I get my stuff in the car, I drive off thinking he's gonna drive off like right after me. Before I left, we had exchanged Instagram handles, right? Next day, I get a DM from him with a picture of a grip and grin with that 6-pointer. So it turned out the dude lived not even 20 minutes away from where we were at. So he slept in the car for a little bit to see if the rain would pass, and it did. And as soon as the rain stopped, he went into the woods and killed that buck. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say you told them where you were? Did you tell them what you had seen too, or just where you were?
No, I told him what I had seen. I was like, oh, I saw a buck around here. And that's all on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was more pissed because I had watched the weather forecast the night before, believing that it was going to rain all afternoon, that the storm was going to be an all afternoon thing. You know what I'm saying? He probably had more updated intel on the weather and knew that it was going to pass and just slept in his car and rode it out. You know what I'm saying? So I was more pissed at myself for not being up to date on the information that I had than I was on being forthcoming with where this buck was and that there was even a buck on the property.
This is the best advice I can give everybody for parking lot interactions. Be honest about where you are and lie about what you see.
saw.
So it's like, yeah, you know that hill up there? That's where I hunt. I hunt up there every weekend. You'll find me up there all the. Yeah, I ain't seen shit though. Nothing on camera. I ain't heard a gobble. There ain't nothing around, but that's where I'll be. That way they know you're up there, but they don't want to go up there.
See, I'm gonna be like, did you guys ever see the movie Spaceballs?
Oh yeah.
And when they're combing the desert and they stop to the two black dudes with the pigs and be like, have you guys seen anything? They were like, man, we ain't seen shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm about to do from now on.
Yeah, nope. Ain't seen nothing. Nope. Cameras are dead. No, there ain't nothing up there, but
yeah, but
it's a good view. It's peaceful. No one bothers me up there. I'll try it again.
But the problem is, when somebody's lying because they're like, "Oh yeah, I hunt up there every day, but I ain't seen nothing." That means there's a big one up there. But well, guys, we really appreciate you jumping on with us. This is awesome, and to hear all about it and whatnot. But before we cut you guys loose, y'all know how this goes here. We want to know what drives you guys outdoors.
You go ahead, partner.
You're up first, brother. I think you have a better answer than I do.
You know what's funny is that's how we do it, the show and stuff like that. We literally take turns, like, asking questions and whatnot. But for me, it's all right. I just turned 49. I'm gonna be 50 next year, right? So what's driving me outdoors is the fact that this, getting into bow hunting, man. I never thought I'd be at this part of my life. I'd be really intrigued by something new and learning. Like, I feel like almost every time I'm in the woods, I'm like a school kid. I'm learning something new. Like, even this year, for example, I'm on deer almost every year that I've hunted, but I've never within an ethical shooting distance. So when I think about all these past years that I've been out there, I'm like, it's got to be my scent control, and I don't mean meaning like sprays or anything like that, but I mean playing the wind. Like, it's got to be the way that I've been entering the woods or how much noise I'm making. Are these deer sending me? So I know this year my focus is, once I've identified, a kill tree and whatnot, figuring out what are the optimal winds for me to be able to come in and get to that tree. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So for me, it's learning, constantly learning, because it's I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. It's kind of like, what do they say, when a shark stops swimming, you know what I'm saying? They're dead or they die, something like that. I don't know, something stupid like that. But it's that's what I feel like. If I'm not learning something, then that's the only time it's really not a good day in the woods. And I'm constantly learning and having fun doing it. So that's what drives me outdoors.
Yeah, for me, I think my answer is a bit more simplistic, I guess. I mean, I'm a father. I have 3 kids. I got one on the way. I didn't grow up hunting. I didn't grow up being, brought up with anything that was of substance that could be passed down from one generation to the next. So for me, I am the generation that's starting that. So a lot of what I do is about legacy. The both of you said that you grew up hunting, and my daughter's already been out there. She's 8, so she hasn't been out there to hunt, but she sat out there with me the end of last deer season in the ground blind. We bought her the camo. She was excited about that. She had her little bib on, and so a lot of this is about legacy and what I'm going to pass down to my kids. And I wanted it to be something that's the opposite of the world, like of the earth, but not of the world, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to be something where or what I'm leaving you is just money, or what I'm leaving you is just this house, or like these things that are like physically rooted. I wanted it to be something where like you guys are going to have things that, oh, my great grandfather Devian, he was the one who started this for our family and put us all down this line, and that was probably the most powerful thing. My family's from, I'm Puerto Rican, my family's from Puerto Rico, so ideally, in a perfect world, I grew up fishing. Even nothing. My family came here from Puerto Rico, and they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna work," and that's what they did.
Yeah.
They work until they die of like a massive coronary at work. That's the typical Ramos family tradition. So now, I started hunting a couple years ago. I just started fishing now. My daughter's got a fishing rod. My wife grew up fishing, so it's just something that now we're continuing for her generation. I'm hopefully going to pass this down to my daughters and my son soon to come. But it's really just about legacy and the impact that I'm going to leave behind when I'm long gone.
Amen.
That's that's awesome, because we do this a lot, and it seems like everyone we talk to is either sixth generation hunter. It's in your blood. Your dad did it. Your grandpa did it. Forever. Or we talk to a lot of first generation hunters. I never thought about, as a first generation hunter, you're creating a second generation of hunters. Like you're starting another generation, which is pretty badass when you think of it that way.
Yeah, my daughter shoots a bow. My wife shoots a bow. My daughter just completed her first archery league. For Mother's Day, we bought my wife a compound bow. I mean, that's her trad bow right up there. That's my wife's trad bow, and we are that family now.
That's crazy. That is awesome. Like that is to hear it. Like that's incredible. You don't think about that because like Steve, 4 or 5 generations deep. Like that's what it is. That's what we do. Like Thanksgiving, our entire life since I was a kid, 3 years old, my dad dragging me through the woods. Like that's just what we did. Like that's just normal. You are the spearhead of that. And that is both of you, and it is incredible. It's just cool to see that it has that type of impact. And I do want to say one more thing, Cliff and Devian. I don't know you as well as I know Cliff, but to watch Cliff evolve into what he is today from what he was before, some of the questions that he had asked before to now giving the information better than most men who have hunted for 30 years, it's super impressive, and it's completely awesome. And I'm very excited to see what you guys evolve into together, because I think the yin and yang of you two, I think, will definitely grow miles. So it's super cool. It is super cool. So
Hey, real quick before you close this out, I wanted to share something. All right, so Devian and I have put it out into like the universe. Like we're putting deer down this fall. You know what I'm saying? I've even put it out there like while we have our own we're hunting, we're going to be doing, some aspect of this on our own. I've reached out to other people and be like, hey, you know what? I want to experience, harvesting a deer. Like if there's anybody out there, I put it out that wanted to take me out and just point me in the direction where this deer is. So all I got to do is draw back, let the arrow fly. That's because of, I've adopted that sort of mentality this year because of you. Because years back in, again, that previous podcast that shall not be named, you once said, in order to learn to kill deer, you've got to kill deer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want, if as I'm journeying and still learning to hunt, somebody just point me in the direction and say, hey, shoot that one. You know what I'm saying? Just so I get that experience under my belt. You know what I'm saying? That I want to do that this fall, and knock that out.
So I'll do one better, and I know that we've talked about it before, but like if y'all want to make a trip and do a deer camp up here, like I can assure you we can find you a deer to shoot. Like I don't think that would be too hard. Like and we could definitely, we'll talk off air on times and stuff, but we could do a little long weekend. I have a camp here that we can crash at. Like it would be kind of cool. And it's probably from the city, maybe like 2 hours, maybe. I don't even think it's that far.
It might be 2.5, but yeah, it ain't bad.
It's not bad at all. No, and listen, y'all are gonna get an experience. I can assure you that because it is the middle of nowhere, like on a river, no power, like. But we can talk about that later. But we'd love to, man. That would be super cool. We could definitely find you some. At least you'd be pretty darn close to killing one, no questions asked. I mean, it's not a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee.
Awesome.
But no, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, listen along, follow along, see what you guys got going on. Tell them all.
All right. First and foremost, you guys, your listeners can find us on any podcast platform they use, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. And it's the NYC Bowhunting Podcast. And then on social media, you guys can find us primarily on Instagram. I'm at Urban Archery NYC, and Devian is at City Kid Bushcraft.
Awesome. Well, guys, we really appreciate it once again, man. And I'm glad that you guys had the chance to come on and jump on and do this. I know it's tough for both of you guys, got very busy lives, kids, so on and so forth. But we thank you guys. And for everybody else, go and follow these boys. They got some really cool things coming. And for everybody else, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.
Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
Help conserve Florida's flats fishery with the new Bonefish and Tarpon Trust license plate. Visit btt.org to reserve plates for your vehicle and boat trailer today.